Hi everyone, I want to talk to you today about this, Football Fortunes. It's a football board game that's not Counter-Attack. Can you believe such things exist? This is a very different beast from Counter-Attack, as you can probably tell straight away from just looking at the back of the board. This is a party game for up to 6 people to play together. You take charge of a team over several seasons, and in one evening, maybe you play 3-4 seasons, you try to win the league, the cup and the European tournaments too. If it seems quite familiar to you, then that's perhaps because you've come across Brian Clough's Football Fortunes before. This is a board game maybe back in the 80s, and it came hand in hand with a Spectrum computer game. Why does it come with a computer game? It's because in this version here, it's an app it comes with, which you can use on your iPads or whatever. And that's the app that tells you what your team results are and also helps you move around the board and teaches you the rules of the game and so on. Let's have a look at some of the component pieces of Football Fortunes. Well, here we see the app in operation. And there's an element of Monopoly style about the Football Fortunes. You can tell that from the manager's luck. It's like a community chance. There's our iPad set up, and they've got the round of fixtures, as you can see, coming in. You get a glimpse here of, well, there's the board, and there's a couple of player mats that have been set up. So played this game recently, and what happens is you start with a very basic squad, and then as you move around the board and collect gate receipts, that gives you the income which you can spend on players. One of the great things about this game is when a player comes up for transfer, you can get involved in a real frenzied auction for that player's services. There was one time where me and a friend just kept trying to outbid one another. I think for a pretty average player as it was, as it turns out too. But in that moment in time, that player was someone that we both needed, and the bidding went up beyond £100 million. There's one of the greatest things about this game, other than that sort of pinching players off your opponent, is waiting to see what your results are. So once you've built up your squad, we had a look at a squad there, here's another look at one here, you can see they've got these star ratings. So you calculate what your star ratings are for defence, you calculate what they are for attack. You've got those coaches you saw there that can give you a boost in both defence or attack. And then what you do is, once you've got that squad, you go to match day, and of course match days happen quite frequently, and when it comes around to match day, you tell the app what your defence is, what your attack is, and then the app calculates what your result is. Now, you can't quite capture this feeling when I just show you this picture here, but believe you me, you all sit around this video printer that's about to appear, and you cheer or commiserate yourselves based on the results that come in. And there we have the results coming in. It might not look like much, but it's a really exciting part of this game where you begin celebrating whatever your result happens to be. You might have seen there was gate money as well, and that's the money that you'll save up in order to spend when the time comes. So at the end of the season, someone ends up a winner, and you get yourself a trophy. And that's not just about personal pride, but that's also about more income for you. You can use that trophy to give you millions of pounds more, in which you then go out, of course, and try and boost that squad. One of the things I really like about the game is the youth system, and I think we had a little glimpse of a youth system back there. There's a youth player, if you can see at the left back position, the yellow card. So you get these youth players with a 0-star rating, but you can boost them as you move around the board and land in the right place and spend some money to boost those players so they go up to 5 stars. And you can have a whole bunch of youth players in your squad. And it's a good feeling when you manage to boost them up, because the regular players can't be boosted. They just stay at whatever star rating they were on. Now let's have a look at the player cards. You'll have noticed that they're modern day player cards. You'll also notice this. The Liverpool players seem to be better than any others. I think I know why that may be. See the star ratings? They can be rated between 1 and 5, with 5 being the best, and those are the ones you want to get your hands on in order to build the strongest team possible. So that's a quick look at the cards there, and a couple of other things. You see the cash, again, looks a bit Monopoly-like. There's coach cards and youth player cards and scout cards, and they do all sorts of things in the game that liven it up and keep it fresh. So that is a look at Football Fortunes. It was quite a brief look. I hope it gives you a feel for what this game is all about. I've played it a bunch of times now. First time I played it was against my daughter, who's 8, and we really got stuck into it, and she just hammered me, to be quite honest. She kept saying, yeah, let's play another season. And I think that was because she was winning every season. So she won, I think, 3 years in a row. The other time I played in a pub with a whole bunch of pals a couple of times, and it's just a riot. You know, you just get the beers in, you sit around the table, you decide what your team name is, and then you go through all those processes of squad building and playing your matches. And I ended up winning some games, which always adds up to something better. All right, so Football Fortunes is a game you can buy just now, but right now it's on Kickstarter. So I highly recommend you go and have a look, get yourself a copy of Football Fortunes. The 90s edition is on Kickstarter right now. Well worth 30 quid or whatever it happens to be. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.